I just recorded this entire video. It's like an hour and 10-minute long recording, and I just realized that the resolution is absolutely tiny. But I don't care. Hey guys, my name is OneCrafter17, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made my latest song, Blank Ghosting. So this video is kind of going to be in 3 parts. I'm going to tell you about the original idea behind the song. Then I'm going to go through the whole thing, talk about like each instrument and whatever individually, and like how they all developed throughout the song. And then I will tell you about how I made the cover art and the music video. So if that sounds interesting, then lock in. So the original idea behind the song comes from a situation that happened to me somewhat recently in real life. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically, I was talking to a girl for a while, and at some random point she just unadded me and ghosted me, hence the name, and I didn't know why. I thought for a while that I had done something wrong, or like done something to make her uncomfortable. And when I finally got to talk to her, after like a week or two, I found out that it was a very, very stupid reason. And I'm not gonna say anything else on that, but I will say that you can find out what it was somewhere on my main channel. So there you go. There's the engagement bait. Now, originally, the song was just gonna start off with just this beat just going right away. Can I? I'm struggling. Too old for this. Oh, there we go. Originally, the song was gonna start off with just this beat just going, just as it is, which would sound like this. Actually, no, that's wrong. How would it sound? Why is my mixer so wide? It's just gonna sound like this starting off, I think. Or was it like this? I'm not sure. Something like that. And this kick is from the, what is it called? Hold on. Let me pull up the receipts. I can give you the actual name. The Lore Ultimate Hardcore Pack Full Edition. This is the Frenchcore kick. It's the O1 E1 dry. This is just the normal one. It's not the maximized one. Does it have any effects on it? No. This is just the kick as it is. I just changed the shelves so it has more bass. And it was just going to start off just going straight into it. Eventually, after getting some second opinions from other people, I realized it was probably better if it started off like kind of sounding washed out, and then it would come in slowly. The bass would build up, so that's what these two things are. And there's also Tech Step Retro. Sounds a little goofy. That's what that sounds like. Now this is from Flex, which is where I get almost every sound that I use. I'm gonna be honest. Because there are just so many different things in here that you can use for absolutely free if you have FL Studio. So many different things. I'm not going to go through them all. But that also has some automation on it. So this is what that sounds like. So this slowly comes in just like the kick does. You can see over here the shelf raising slowly. It should stop at 0. Yep. So, then it goes into this instrument here, which is capacitation, also from Flex. Very nice. Now, this is very simple, because I don't know how to make melodies or anything like that, so I just keep it real simple. Down here we have this. I don't know if I can just play this on its own. Guess I can do that. Where is this from? This is from the Hardstyle Force sample pack. I'm not sure where I found it, to be honest, but I'm sure you can look that up and find it. Oh yeah, and then also down here, I forgot about this. This is Temple. This is one of my favorite instruments in Flex. So if you put it all the way down here at C0, it sounds pretty cool. This is what it sounds like normally. It sounds very ominous if you put it down lower. I wonder what it sounds like higher. Oh, that's lovely. So then we also have this pattern, which I called This Guy Knows Ball, because that's funny. The instrument's called Highball. And this is what that sounds like. There we go. So then I have some automation on this, so it goes from right to left. Kinda like that. That's what that sounds like. Oh! Sorry. I also have this down here. This is from the Lore pack. This is just a... I think this is a down riser, but I reversed it. So it goes up. Also has some effects on it. This has... I pretty much only use Effector for this kind of stuff, because I'm weird. It has lo-fi and some reverb on it. And then down here there's also this little thing, which is made with GMS, not a Flex instrument. Just a little flare at the bottom that just has reverb on it. And I raised the peaking a little, but it does change up here, because I don't know, a little variety. And then I'll just keep going. There's a different Lore thing here. Simple little impact, and then I think this is the same. Is this the same downfall? No, this is a different one. Which one is this? This one, oh, this is an impact. We have that in there. Should also say, with the patterns that are at the top, up here, on this line, Stages of Grief. Originally, my idea was to have the song kind of go through all the stages of grief. So, you know, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance at the end. And I think the song kind of fits that, but I kind of gave up on that idea at some point. Just because I didn't feel like focusing on that. I felt like the song would be better if I didn't hard focus on that. But anyways, then we get to this part where the actual main melody question mark comes in. I'm not sure if you can call this a melody, but this is what that sounds like on its own. Originally, this did sound different, and I think I'll probably throw that into the video, what that sounds like. So I changed that up a little bit after some friends of mine were like really not jiving with it. So I'm like, okay, I can make this a little different. Maybe it'll sound better. And I think it works. It works pretty well. Then after 2 repetitions of that, then we got more stuff down here. So first we got some hi-hats, of course, and we have this one, which is the Wyoming Incident Noise, which is a sound I used in another song called Can't Help Myself, which is not a song that I'm a big fan of, but I still made it, so. Then we have this other sound that I think has a funny name. It's called Ginormous Reese. I don't know. So, track name is Gigantic Reese, and the pattern name is Huge Reese. And then there's this sound, which is also something I've used before. This is Dusty. I used this in my song called Killing Her. It's kind of like, you can hear it a lot in the beginning. I don't remember where exactly it is throughout the rest of the song. Then as we come into this part, the tempo changes from 175 down to 130. It goes through this slowdown here. And we got a transition here. Oh yeah, there's also this down here. Man, there's so many things. There's so many layers to this. I just forget what everything is. We have this one, Brass Carnival. You can barely hear this one in the final song, but it's here for just a little bit of flair. There's also this, which I totally forgot about, Shimmer Messerize, which is really in your right ear. This normally has some panning to it. So it's meant to sound like it's traveling around your head, kind of. I found that, like, pretty late into making this song. I thought it was pretty neat, so I just threw it in here. I will almost certainly be using it more in future songs. But, anyways, finally, we get to the slowdown. We switch to 130 BPM. As we come into this, Dusty kind of fades out. And it goes left, right. I was just gonna put like normal reverb on that, but I couldn't get it to behave how I wanted it to, so that's why I did it like this. And then the ghosted kick, the lore kick, switches to this hardstyle one, which I believe is from the Hardstyle Force pack. Very, very simple hardstyle kick. Originally I did have this kick in here, but I thought it was muddying the sound a little too much, so I switched it up. Highball comes back. We got a slightly different hi-hat pattern. Oh, there's some claps in here. I forgot about that. Some claps in there. We got the ghosted vocal. So, if anyone is at all curious of the way that I record my vocals, this one I literally just opened fucking Audacity and I just said ghosted into the mic. Ghosted. Brought it here. So the first one that I put in, I lowered the pitch of it slightly, and then the multiplicator went up, I guess. I don't know. I haven't looked in this in like 2 months. And then I put some effects on it. This is track 1. So there's lo-fi on it. So it's like bit crushing. You can kind of hear that. And then there's some reverb. A lot of reverb, actually. And then down here is this. Which it's like on the offbeat. So this is actually, the reason this is called Dark Past is because I made a little track called Dark Past where I made this little melody. And I don't know how long that track is. A minute and a half. If that. Let me look. So I'll play a little sample of that in the video. And underneath that we have this. Which is just meant to be like opposing this. It's kind of hard to hear in the song, but I think you can kind of make it out. And I think it sounds pretty cool when you put them together. Oh. There we go. So Dark Past just uses the 3x oscillator with these settings. Does it have? It just has reverb on it. And then this one that's underneath it is Alum & Son from Flex, and that has no effects on it. It's just kind of low. I think, yeah. It's in the threes. And then there's some automation for the volume of Dark Past. And then here there's actual proper vocals for the first time in the song. So there's a little bit of glitching put on it to kind of lead into this. So if you can't tell by looking at the lyrics of this song or just listening to it, I am not a great songwriter when it comes to lyrics at all. I'm working on being more like nuanced with how I say things in a song and not so on the nose, you know. But I'm happy with how it turned out, I think. And it feels so pointless, time I've wasted, feel so hopeless, got me driven in numerous spaces, man, I'm so damn anxious. All your petty fights, and that's one thing, is tell me all your petty fight. When I say petty here, I don't know why, tell me all your petty but it peaked the mic so badly, and I only noticed like after it was too late. The song was already out. Because, like, every time I played it in here, it sounded normal. Tell me all but like it cuts out everything else. So that's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Ghosted and it feels so pointless. Time I've wasted feels so hopeless. Got me drifting, nameless, baseless, faceless. Man, I'm so damn anxious. Remix, I stayed up all night. That meant nothing. Why do I try? You hurt me now, but then maybe I'll catch you on the flip side. I guess I can talk about the lyrics a little bit. So this last section here, where I say, remix, I stayed up all night, and then I'll catch you on the flip side. This girl that this song is about, I stayed up until like 7 in the morning working on this remix of a very niche song called Flipside for her. And I think it turned out okay. It's not public. I don't know if it'll ever be public. Maybe. We'll see. That's what I'm referencing there. For anyone wondering. So that's why I really emphasize the word flipside. There's also some symbols here to lead into the next section. Just right on the beat. Originally, I think it was like this. Whoa. Press the wrong button. Is this section here that's sped up back to 175 BPM? But I couldn't get it to work with the lyrics here, so I just got rid of it. So yeah, and then here, once we come back to 175 BPM, we got the Brass Carnival back again. Again, you can hardly hear it. There's also this. This is Vortex Dragon from Flex. This just has, I think it's Transient, is what that's supposed to be. The 3/4. I'm not a really super big fan of how I did this. This was like the last thing that I added to the song. I don't like how it's in 3/4, and you can hear it a little bit too loudly below everything else. But whatever, it's out now, so. They're bowling upstairs again. I also forgot to mention that there's this. This is just something that I'll do because I don't know how to make melodies. And I just doubled it up here at the end. Of course, that's a little slower there. It's 130 BPM. Then we go to this. And then that goes to this one. Which, can I play it, please? I think, is this one 2 things still? Or is this just 1? I think this is just 1. Yeah. Oh my god. Stop rolling your chairs around upstairs. I'm trying to record a video. This is Hard Kick 17. Where is this from? This is also from the Hardstyle Force sample pack. This also sounded a little different in the beginning, because I had a gunshot sound. So if I were to add that in here, I think it was on C5. Because I've had this gunshot sound saved to my favorites in here forever. Never used it. And I didn't end up keeping it, so. Oh well. But then as we're going through this section, oh yeah, the kick pattern changes a little bit. That was mainly because I got some advice that said, hey, this is just like 4/4 kicks, like the whole song. You should like not do that the whole time. I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. So I switched it up a little bit there. Switch it up a little bit later as well. This is kind of just more of the same. Let me bring in this same pattern with these two. I also have this instrument, which you can't hardly hear it actually going down in the song, but you can definitely hear the wah 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 wah. Especially because it has special volume controls and panning, so it goes back and forth very quickly. And below that we also have this instrument from Flex, which on this one, Mood Swings, also is. This just has a pattern on its own. What does it sound like up here? Kind of jovial. How about down here? Ooh, I like that. Oh yeah, also Dark Past comes back. Bow, bow. Hi-hats come back. We introduce a new instrument called Flux Capacitor. Also from Flex. It just does that pattern on its own as well. So that kind of just works out. I put some panning on it just to make it sound a little nice. So there's a little more interest there. And then bring back the main melody with Dark Past. Although I'm not sure how well you can actually hear that below it. I don't know. Then once we get through this section, we slow down at the end again, but this time we're going from 175 to 150. It's a little higher than the last section. And we switch to the hardstyle kick. And then we also bring in this womp sound, as I called it, which is Fade 17 from the Hardstyle Force sample pack. And that just sounds like this. It's just on the offbeat. So when you pair it with the hardstyle kick, it kind of sounds like a normal hardcore kick. But the difference here is that if I want to cut out the hardstyle kick, like right here, I could still have the tail of it keep going, which I like. That's why I did it there. But then we have some other vocals in here, of course.
Heart. Independent from my mind.
My heart independent from my mind. My mind independent from my heart. I don't think I actually put this in the Genius annotations. I should do that. I should definitely do that. The reason that it's my heart independent from my mind independent from my heart, is because, like, part of this whole situation is, like, I kept trying to talk to this girl, despite knowing that I probably shouldn't, and that it was probably going to end badly, and I just kept doing it, because in my mind, I can think, that this is a bad idea, obviously, but my heart does not feel the same. I hope that makes sense. They're independent from each other. My brain can think one thing and my heart disagrees, and vice versa. Then we come into this part where it's... why did that highlight?
My heart feels so independent from my mind. My mind thinks so independent from my heart.
It pretty much just builds on that. My heart, independent from my mind. My mind, independent from my heart. My heart thinks so independent from my mind. My mind feels so independent from my heart. There's the Wyoming incident click, which is kind of like the Wyoming incident noise, but it's a little different. Where's that? This is the last one down here. Oh, I want this pattern. So this is what it sounds like. I wanted you to be able to hear the noise of it more in the song, but you really can't. And I wasn't going to make it any louder. I also use this sound in Can't Help Myself. So you can kind of hear that below everything. It has a surprising amount of bass to it, actually. In the song, you can hear it, like, when it comes in, it's like, whoomp. Little whoomp of bass. Then as we come into this section where I bring back the ghosted kick, I added some risers that kind of go up and down. A lot of reverb on them. So it kind of like washes in and out and in and out. I think it ends up sounding pretty cool. But then this whole section here is slowly speeding back up to 175 BPM. There's this little quip from me right here.
Bad for you, but you can't stay away.
That kind of ties into the whole theme of this section. My brain thinking something different from my heart. And then up here, I don't know if this is actually going to be add volume. It is. It's really loud though. This is kick 54 from the lore pack. I've used this kick in so many songs now, but it started out with Killing Her. That's the song that it was originally in. This is the maximized version as well, so it's a little louder. I don't know, I guess I have this sort of goal that I want to try and sneak this kick into as many songs as I can. At least if it makes sense to, given the subject matter. Because like I said, it started out with Killing Her, which I'm pretty sure you can find on the Genius page or somewhere what the meaning behind that song is. I don't feel like talking about it right now. I didn't actually kill someone, okay? It's a metaphor. But the kick has kind of taken on a different meaning for me because of that song. So that's why I want to use it in as many songs as I can. So it's here. It'll make another appearance later. But then we're back at 175 BPM. Bring back the main melody. Bring back the hi-hats. Hardstyle kick is still going underneath this. Just a little bit. We got a new player in the game here. This is Computer Tape, also from Flex. Surprise, surprise. This is what it sounds like. pretty cool. I have this just going under everything else. You can barely hear it in the song if you strain your ears. I used this sound in Pre-Computed Crusher, which is the first song that I put out using the lore pack, which is probably doesn't sound like that big of a deal to anyone else, but it is to me, because that's when those are the first hardcore kicks that I actually had. Before that, I was just kind of like scratching my head on how to make them. So that's the first one I put out using those, but the first one that I made using them is Galactic Acquisition. Doesn't matter. Anyways, bring back Dark Past. So we kind of build up right here with this. Because this section originally it kind of just kept the kicks going normally and then just dropped into some other stuff. I honestly don't remember at this point. I think this kind of just went straight express to like the ending build up. But because I got that word of advice that, hey, don't just do 4/4 kicks the whole time, I ended up making this section where the kicks drop out. This is like one of my favorite sections of the song. We drop out, we got this instrument called Pecan Pie from Flex. And then we have Dawning Neo Kicks, which is just a whole thing of kicks. Just a bunch of different ones. A bunch of them. All there. So, because we don't want to use 4/4 kicks the whole time, this one is kind of staggered. No. Calm down. So they're not all exactly on beat. But after that, then bring back the ghosted kick. Tech Step Retro comes back. And then we just got this here, where it's just ghosted 4 times. Ghosted. I don't know if you saw before, but there's like 11 different versions of Ghosted, just because I had to adjust like the length of it, the speed, to fit the different sections of the song. So there's a lot of those. We bring GMS back a little bit, the flare from the beginning. Bring this back. So we have the main melody going. I think it's pretty quiet underneath everything. I can barely hear it at all. Yeah. And originally I just had this section of vocals come in right here, but I thought the transition was a little bit harsh, so I added these vocal chops that I know at least one person really likes. There's a lot of reverb on that, if you can't tell. And this is just saying, let me down easy, let me down easy. And then right at the end, I scream, let me down harder. Little secret though, I didn't actually scream. I was just whisper screaming. Kinda like this! I just whisper screaming. But if you put the right effects on it, it sounds like you're actually screaming. Easy, let me down, easy, let me down, easy, let me down harder! Which, by the way, is the same exact way I did all of the vocals on Pathetic and Infinite Suffering. Infinite Suffering! I can't take it anymore! And then, down here, I made my own riser, and I am very pleased with how this turned out. If you actually hear it in the song, it just sounds really normal. What is this? Yeah, this is channel volume. It just, like, when I played it there for you, you can hear it da 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 da. But if you actually play it in the song, it just sounds smooth. I also forgot to mention we got a lot of weirdness going on with these here. No, just the pattern, please. So I just did a lot of repeating notes in here to make it sound glitchy. Just change it up a lot. There's also this. I don't think you can hear this in the song at all. But it's there. This is just laser percussion from Flex, of course. But then we build up, and we're in this section where everything's just going for a couple bars, and then everything comes back with the melody. We got the ghosted vocals kind of going crazy down here. This part right here where it's like go steaded, that happened by accident, but I really love it. It's like in the actual song it sounds, it overlaps in just such a nice way, in my humble opinion. 54 comes back right here. It is entirely silent. Does this have more to it? Oh, it does. I forgot I did that. So that just follows the same pattern as this up here. And we just build up. We got mood swings down here. Oh, I just messed that up. But now it's higher. Before it was a lot lower down. And then we bring back the same riser again, but it's a little different. So this time it's lower. By the way, this is using Odd Horn Man from Flex. And we also have this down here. It's one of my favorite little things. I also use this in Infinite Suffering. So I think it's both of these that are in this pattern. Yeah, they're both down here. So this is Micro Elements. It's just little electronic sounds. And then the other one It's just kind of random siren sounds. This one, as much as I love it, it is an interesting thing to work with because it doesn't have like a set pattern. It is truly random. So every time that I would export the song, this would have a different pattern to it. So I had to export it a couple times to get it to sound the way that I wanted to. And then when I did the instrumental, I had to do that again. Because the way I did the instrumental is I just made a separate project file, like duplicating this one, and then deleted all the vocals, and then just exported that. So I had to export it a couple times to get it to sound roughly the same. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it at least sounds close enough. So, yeah, we build up, and then everything just blasts out into space. And we're just left with the remnants. And Dark Pass going quieter underneath everything. Then over here, we just slowly bring back Highball till it comes back at full volume. We switch to the hardstyle kick. I really like this transition here. Because we have like did it da da. It's like did it da, and then da, and then down here we have the little ba ba. Know what I mean? And then we have the impact down here. Now I made it sectioned like this because when I was listening to another version of the song, it kind of sounded like it was doing this anyways, so I kind of wanted to lean into it more. So, we just isolate that. This is what it sounds like. I don't know. I think it makes it a little more interesting. Let me bring back the hardstyle kick, like I said. Oh yeah. And then this is called Touching Grass for good reason. Because this is literally just audio from a video that I had. This happened by complete accident. Because there was one night after I had worked on the song for a while where I was looking through my Snapchat memories, and this was a video from, when was this? August 29th of 2023 at like 11:30 p.m. and I was just outside and it was just nice and peaceful like this. So I saw that video in my Snapchat memories, so I'm like, you know what? I'll just fucking throw this in at the end of the song, why not? And then guess what? The song got to be exactly 11 minutes long because of that. Or at least close enough. Yeah. 11 minutes and 11 milliseconds. So yeah. That's the rundown of like all the instruments, basically. So I got a lot of help from this guy, goes by Dashvid. He makes his own music. He's very good at that. Basically, I just sent 2 different test versions of the song to his Discord server and asked for literally anyone to listen to it and give me some advice. As far as I know, he was the only one who actually listened to it, which is totally fine. But he suffered through all, I think it was like 9 minutes of the song at the time, and then for the second time it was almost 11 minutes. And he gave me some pretty solid advice on it. And I also showed it to him and another guy in a VC at one point. The whole thing. I am so grateful that people are willing to just sit there and listen to my fucking shit-ass music for that long, when it's 11 minutes long. That is very cool, and I'm glad that at least someone is willing to do that and give me advice. I also shared the song in early versions with some of my friends, so I could get their feedback on it. So I guess I should also talk about the way that I work on music, because I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I don't know. I might be completely unoriginal with this. So what I'll do is I'll make a first version of the song, and then I'll just export that. I'll call it whatever the song name is. So in this case, it would be Blank Ghosting Test 1. And then I upload that privately to SoundCloud. And then I'll listen to that for like a couple days, just outside of FL Studio, so I can get a feel for what it sounds like in like my earbuds or in my car. And then I'll come back and I'll work on it more. Usually I make a Google Doc, and then I'll write down all the stuff that I want to change or add or take out. So then I'll come back and I'll make some changes, add some stuff, work on it more, and then I'll export that. That'll be test 2, and so on. Now, before this, I think I had 7 test versions of another song. I think it was... I'm not sure, honestly. But, anyways, to get to the point, Blank Ghosting had like 10 test versions. So, that was a lot. And it changed quite a bit throughout the whole process. Because if I just look at all of the test versions. So, the test 1 was 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Test 2 was 8 minutes and 18 seconds. Test 4 was 9 minutes and 26 seconds. Test 5 was 10 minutes and 54. Test 9 was 10:55. And... oh, interesting. I thought test 10 would actually be 11 minutes, but no. I guess... yeah. The final version, final _2. That's the only one that's 11 minutes. And also, when I upload them privately to SoundCloud, I'll write like a whole fucking autobiography for the description about like what I changed and how I feel about the song currently and yada yada yada. So, yeah. That's also another favorite part of mine, is picking out the cover art for that, even though nobody's ever gonna see it. But that's always fun. This song also took me like 2 months to make. So like if I look at the dates on this, test 1 was January 7th, 2026, and the final 2 version was March 16th, 2026. So yeah, it's like, what, like 9 weeks, I think, ish, something like that. And that's definitely the longest I've taken to make any song. I think it took me like maybe a month to make Pathetic and Infinite Suffering. That took like a month. And that was 2 songs that were 13 minutes total. That was longer than this. So, that's something. I also took a lot of breaks making this song. Like I'd spent like a week or like 2 weeks just not working on it, not really thinking about it a whole lot. Just because I think it helps sometimes, if you're working on a song this much, to just take a step back for a while, and then come back with fresh ears, I guess. So you can kind of gauge if something sounds wrong or needs to change. That's what I think, at least. I could be wrong. This is also technically the longest official release song that I've worked on so far. I say technically because I do have like a full version of Pathetic and Infinite Suffering, where it's just both of them together as one track, and that's like 13 minutes and 19 seconds, I think. And then I also have another track that's like 14 minutes long and some change. It's called Long Distance Space Chase, and I used it in one video, and I'm pretty sure that's on my other SoundCloud account, 2Crafter18, and I don't like it because it's pretty much just a beat and like a melody that just goes up and then down and then down and up for 14 freaking minutes, and it was literally just background music for a video. That's all it was. So technically, this is the longest song I've made. So now I'm going to talk about the cover art and the music video for Blank Ghosting. So, I guess to start, the girl that the song is about and I had a Minecraft Java world that we both played on for a little bit. And that's the setting of the music video and the background of the cover art. So, little history lesson there, I guess. The house that's featured on the cover art is actually a rebuild of the house. Because originally we had that house in a jungle biome, like on the shore. And then we went exploring one day and found this really cool mountain area, which you can see in the music video. And she wanted to live there, so I'm like, okay. So I rebuilt the entire house by hand in survival and moved all of our stuff there through the nether. And yeah, that's the setting for that. For the cover art, this is kind of the same process for a lot of my cover art. If I'm gonna put my own character on there, then I draw that by hand on paper first, like just a rough outline, and then I take a picture of that with my phone, send it to my computer, and then historically what I've done is I just make the cover art based off of that, but for this one I kind of like had to cut it out of that image and then superimpose it over the background image of the house. And I had to get the screenshot of the house framed correctly so that it would be like a good size to then also fit my character on the other side. And yeah. So I guess also I should mention that to draw that picture of my character, I took a picture of myself wearing I have a motorcycle helmet that I've painted the design of my own helmet onto, and it looks like absolute fucking dog shit. I'm gonna be so for real. But I put that on and then put my hands on my face and took a picture of myself. So that I was my own, what do you call it? I was my own reference material for that. Once I've done that, then I will break out the drawing pad, plug that into the computer, and then I'll draw over the whole picture of my character that I drew on paper. And I'll go like pixel by pixel. I am so fucking meticulous with it for no reason, and I waste so much time every single time. But that's fine, because I enjoy it. I'll go like pixel by pixel, make sure everything is correct. I think it took me like 3 or 4 hours to draw that. And that's just for the digital one. I think, well, to be fair, I think the one on paper took like maybe 10 minutes at most, if that. So, did that, and then literally just wrote with the drawing pad, Blank Ghosting, 1Crafter17. It was that simple. And then for the instrumental, obviously, I just wrote instrumental on it. In the same way. For the music video, I mean, I basically just followed the same process that I do for every music video I've made so far. And at least currently, I'm a big fan of just still shots. Those are not screenshots in the music video, and those are all just, I think for most of them, I sat there and recorded for like 5 minutes. Which was super overkill, because I ended up using like maybe at most a minute and a half of any given one. So I don't know why I did that. But those are all just from places around the world that we played on. And I don't know, I just sat there in spectator mode. And for the shots that are around the second house on the mountain, I had to go around and break every single torch because I wanted it to be dark. So that was something. And then for the shot of me standing on the tree, I did that with replay mod. Otherwise everything else was just me actually sitting there with the, you know, pressed F1, hide the GUI. And I guess I should also mention the shader that I'm using for most of them is Complementary Reimagined. And then what else did I use? I have a lot of different shaders, and I think part of me just likes showing them in these silly little music videos. I used ASCII shaders, I believe. I think I used Bloody shaders. Bloody shader. Yeah. I used DMS, which is a depth map shader. That's the one where the house is white and then everything's kind of like grayscale until the background is just black. I think that's all I used. I'm not sure. I might have used Wither Rose. I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, it was just a very simple process for me making those videos. I just record a bunch of clips, and then I bring them all into Resolve, and then bring the song in. Kind of have to wrestle with that so that the clips don't overwrite the audio of the song, even though there's no audio for the clips, so I don't know why it's like that. Kind of pisses me off a little bit, but that's besides the point. And then I try to line up the changes for the clips as best I can, you know, throw some transitions in there. Gotta wrestle with those a little bit to get them to work the way I want them. And yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you've been seeing that in the background the whole time when I'm not looking at FL Studio. I think that's what I'm gonna do for the video. So I think that's all I have to say about Blank Ghosting. I've been recording this for almost an hour and 10 minutes now, which is way longer than I thought it would be. But that's cool. If you haven't listened to the song yet, then I highly recommend it. I worked pretty hard on it, as you can probably see if you've watched this whole video. And I would really appreciate that. It's not on streaming services or anything, because I don't like Spotify, mainly. But you can find it on SoundCloud, you can find it here on YouTube. You can find it on Bandcamp, where you can download it for free, at least for right now. Otherwise, you could also like download it for free from SoundCloud if you know how to do that. I'm not gonna tell you how, but like you can do that. At some point in the future, I might make it like $1 on Bandcamp. I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah, if you watch the whole video, thanks for sitting here and listening to me fucking ramble about a stupid ass song for however long this video will end up being. Appreciate it. Go and watch all of my other music videos and listen to all of my music, and also all of my friends' music. Shout out to Cryptic15699 on SoundCloud, and also Spartan116. I think that's his name on SoundCloud. I follow both of them on there, so you can find them through my profile. They make good music too. I make a lot of music with Cryptic1, so go check it out. Also watch all of my videos on my main channel. All of them. Watch all of them. Do it. Do it now. Okay, goodbye. Ghosted.